Some stories shake an entire country. This is one of them. A quiet college town, 4 bright students, and a night that changed everything. The case gripped millions, sparked huge debates, and raised a question that still haunts people today. How did something this shocking happen in a place so peaceful? Today, we're breaking down the Idaho Murders and the man investigators say is responsible, Bryan Kohberger. This is a clear, step-by-step look at the case, the timeline, the clues, the investigation, and where things stand. Now let's start at the beginning, long before cameras, headlines, and courtroom updates. The house on King Road. It was November 2022 in Moscow, Idaho. A small town known for its safety, its friendly community, and the University of Idaho, where thousands of students lived their normal lives. Inside a 3-story rental home on King Road lived several students, including Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernadle, and Ethan Chapin, who was visiting Zana that night. That weekend was supposed to be like any other. Friends going out, people laughing, students enjoying the last weeks before winter break. Nothing about that night seemed unusual, but while the town slept, something unthinkable happened inside that home. The next morning, when 2 roommates woke up and noticed things were not right, they called for help. What police found quickly became national news. 4 students were gone, and a killer had vanished without a trace. For days, nobody knew who was responsible or why this happened. Rumors spread online, fear ran through the community, and thousands of students started leaving town. People locked their doors for the first time in years. But behind the scenes, investigators were working around the clock, and slowly, the pieces of the puzzle began to form. The search for answers. Moscow police, along with state and federal agencies, launched a massive investigation. They collected evidence from the house, reviewed phone data, interviewed dozens of people, and checked every possible lead. One of the first major clues was a white Hyundai Elantra seen near the area around the time of the crime. Police didn't know the driver yet, but that car became a key part of the investigation. Another important clue came from phone records and security cameras around the neighborhood. Neighbors had cameras pointing at streets, driveways, and houses. These recordings helped investigators build a timeline. While police worked quietly, the public wanted answers. The case spread across social media, news channels, podcasts, and forums. Millions of people were following every update, but the actual suspects remained unknown. For weeks, there was silence. No arrest, no suspects named, no clear explanation. But behind closed doors, investigators were narrowing in on one man. Who is Bryan Kohberger? On December 30th, 2022, almost 7 weeks after the incident, police arrested 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger in Pennsylvania. Kohberger was a criminology PhD student at Washington State University, just a short drive from Moscow, Idaho. He lived alone, taught classes, and studied criminal behavior. His classmates described him as quiet, intense, and very focused. The arrest shocked many people. A graduate student studying criminology being accused of such a crime was something nobody expected. But investigators said they had strong reasons for the arrest, and they believed they had the right person. How investigators connected the dots. The details of the investigation were later revealed in court documents. They showed how police built their case, piece by piece. A. The white Elantra. The same model of car seen near the home matched Kohberger's vehicle. His car was also spotted on various cameras that night, passing by the house multiple times. B. Phone records. Investigators say his phone connected to cell towers near the area more than once before the incident. However, during the time of the crime, his phone appeared to be turned off, something detectives found notable. cDNA evidence. Another key part of the investigation came from DNA found at the scene. Police compared it to a sample collected from Kohberger, and they say it matched. When you put these pieces together, the car, the phone activity, and the DNA, investigators believed they had enough to make an arrest. The court process begins. After being arrested, Kohberger was brought back to Idaho to face charges. He has maintained his innocence, and the case continues through the court system. Because it is an active legal matter, many details are limited. The court has emphasized fairness and accuracy, so officials release information carefully. What we know is based only on verified documents and official statements, nothing outside that. The trial is a major focus for both the community and the country. Families of the victims attend hearings, hoping for justice and answers. Experts continue to analyze the evidence, and the public watches each development closely. This case is not just about one night. It's about 4 lives, 4 families, and a community deeply affected. The impact on the community. The University of Idaho campus changed overnight. Students came together, held memorials, and supported the families. Yellow ribbons appeared around town. Vigils were held, candles were lit, and thousands gathered to honor the victims. The families of Kaylee, Madison, Zana, and Ethan showed strength despite unimaginable pain. They spoke with grace, shared stories about their children, and kept encouraging the community to stay strong. The town of Moscow also transformed. New security measures were added. People stayed more alert, and even months later, the feeling of loss remained. This wasn't just a crime. It was a tragedy that touched the entire nation. What makes this case so unforgettable? Several things make the Idaho case stand out. A. The victims were full of life. All 4 students were known for their energy, kindness, and close friendships. People connected with their stories. A. The investigation was complex. There were no early suspects, no clear motive, and no public leads. C. The arrest was unexpected. Few imagined a criminology student would be connected to such a case. D. The case received worldwide attention. From news stations to podcasts to social media, everyone wanted answers. But above all, the loss was heartbreaking. 4 young people, each with hopes and dreams, gone far too soon. Where the case stands. Today, the legal process continues, with hearings, motions, and updates released by the court. Kohberger has pleaded not guilty, and the trial is expected to be long and detailed. The goal of the court is to ensure fairness, accuracy, and respect for the victims and their families. As of today, many questions remain, but the legal system will work through each of them step by step. For now, the families continue to honor the lives of their children, and the community continues to support them. Remembering the victims. More than anything, this story is about 4 students whose lives were full of potential. Kaylee Goncalves, strong, brave, and full of ambition. Madison Mogan, caring, creative, and loved by everyone. Zana Kernadle, energetic, kind, and full of joy. Ethan Chapin, warm, outgoing, and deeply loved by his family. Their families have asked people to remember their smiles, their achievements, and the positive impact they had on others. Their lives mattered, and they continue to inspire strength and unity. The Idaho Murders case is one of the most emotional and widely followed true crime stories in recent years. It reminds us how quickly life can change and how important communities become during difficult times. As the case moves through the courts, the focus remains on truth, justice, and honoring the victims. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to understand this story responsibly and respectfully. If you want more true crime content told with care and accuracy, make sure to subscribe to Cold Case Uncovered. Your support helps us continue sharing important cases with respect for victims and their families.